Hey,
Oh, it says we're live.
yeah,
All
right,
right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Magic Hour with
right.
Anna Stone and Stephanie Siren.
Hi, guys.
And
Well, Happy New
tonight,
Year.
yeah, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yep, and Happy New Year. We
Welcome
hope that
back.
everyone had a great time, right? Like, good time. You guys are getting your resolutions in order. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. But,
Right?
right,
Sure.
right.
Nothing's changed. I'm the same person as I was last year. Forget it. No.
I totally changed overnight. What are you talking about? Okay, like, where are you? What are you doing?
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So, couple things. Like, we're new on Thursday nights now. It's gonna be Thursday because our schedules have changed over the past few months. And I'm teaching. So Thursday night, 7 o'clock every week. And Stephanie, what do you got going on? Like, talk about what you're doing.
Oh, okay. So, I am actually going to be teaching some sex magic classes online. And you can find out about them on my website at thegypsysiren.com. You just message me because it is a private class. I have to vet the people that are coming in because it is such a delicate subject matter.
Right. And that's sex
So,
magic.
yes, sex magic.
Right. But you're having a first, like, what are you doing? The first meeting is not an intimate one, right? Like, it's
Right.
going to
The
be,
the
right.
first meeting will be theory, and I will be explaining what the practical would look like. And then those who choose to proceed to learn the practical will learn the practical application of sex magic and how to boost your manifestation in that regard. And also kind of learn the laws of energetics and how to apply them in that way, solo or partnered.
Right on. So that kind of fits in like a little bit with what our topic is tonight. Well, we have like kind of two. We're talking about two things because they're both one and the same, I guess. But we're talking about like some new discoveries in string theory. Well, they're not necessarily that new, but new to me and new to a lot of people. So in string theory, that have made the news recently and that are kind of pointing to the idea that it's more likely than not, that this might be some type of simulation that we're in. And maybe not exactly like The Sims, but some some kind of framework like that. I'm not sure exactly, but I wanted to talk about that, right? So I came
Mhm.
across this article the other day and I read it and I was like, oh my gosh, because I know all about this from science, from biology. Um, James Gates is a professor at Brown University. He was also part of Obama's he was a national science advisor to the Obama administration, and he has this a very stellar background. Like, pretty much, like completely stand up guy. He's been around for a long time, and he found error correcting codes existing in nature. The same error correcting codes that exist in our cells when our cells divide and replicate DNA, and the checkpoints that occur to make sure that that DNA replication was completed successfully. And if not, then the cell goes into apoptosis and self-destructs, right? So it fixes things. So, but it's interesting because it's the same error codes that exist in our web browsers and our, and HTML, like code, line of code, binary code. So, um, like this, how is it in nature unless it was programmed there? Like, that's kind of the argument, right? Like, so we
Right.
wouldn't find it unless it was a program. So
What
it's a
would
little
that
bit
what would that look like for our visual, imaginative thinkers in our audience?
right,
Like I would guess the way that we would describe it is like if y'all have ever seen The Matrix
right, yeah,
and you see the binary code screen that they show in the green with like the ones and the
yeah,
zeros and it's kind
yes,
of shimmery,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's what they're talking about.
right.
That's what
Like, it's in the
that
ether,
looks
like
like.
it's in the air, and this is something that Stephanie and I both, independently from each other, as children, like we both. One of the things that we kind of bonded on was that we both have seen this all, like, without drugs. Like,
Without
just
drugs,
yeah,
sober.
like, sober, um, because there is a guy on TikTok, his name's Danny Goleman, you can look him up. He has an experiment that he's created that shows you that there is binary code literally just in the air. And it's by taking a refracted light laser, just like the kind you use for a level, like, if you're trying to like hang pictures on the wall, keep them, all level, that light that comes out the end. If you look just beyond that, you can see it. And so there's this protocol that he has, and it's like, you could either take DMT or not. Right. You might see it better with the DMT, but I'm not, that's a whole other episode. We're going to talk about that
a whole other episode that we
next
are going
week.
to talk about,
Yes.
though. But
Yeah.
it is a naturally occurring
Yeah.
molecule inside our brains, right?
Yeah.
It's what
Yeah.
helps us visualize when we're dreaming.
Right. Yeah. And it's, yeah. And it does some other stuff too that we'll talk about next week. Right. But
Right.
like part of that,
Opens
that
you up.
binary code can be seen by people, and that's a very common experience. But like I've seen it since I was a kid, and like the way that I say it is like there's these geometric shapes and kind of alphabet-y, like alphabet, but like not our alphabet and not Greek, but something kind of like that, and then some
Hieroglyphic, like
hieroglyphics-ish things. So Dr. Gates has discovered it, called it the Andrika codes, and they come from the Asante people that first long time ago recognize this. Like, and we're going all the way back to Plato now and Socrates. Like these people already knew about this stuff. So it's kind of a lot to process that 2,500 years ago, we already knew about this, and it's just been kind of ignored. So like we have some, there's some interesting findings here, like that, the idea that we're in a computer simulation has been the idea for a while. Like a lot of people have said that. And it's called simulation theory, right? And it's like the idea that the universe we observe is like part of an advanced simulation created by a higher intelligence. And I guess like through this theory, this can account for the Big Bang theory, which states like, because the Big Bang theory has never made sense to me, because biogenesis is not a thing, like, in science, it's life has to come from pre-existing life. It can't come from nothing. And the Big Bang states that it comes from literally nothing, right? And that is the opposite of what all the other rules are. So, so this makes sense for that. Like it would be the boot up. Like, so the Big Bang would have been effectively the booting up of the program, right? That makes sense. Like, so that accounts for that. And then, and then by the program continuously rendering space and matter is how we have an infinite universe, because it keeps happening, it keeps going, right? But there's a couple other physicists, like there's people that disagree, of course, and they can call out errors in this and say like this doesn't really make sense. But overall, most physicists agree that there's a mathematical aspect to our universe, right? Like that it's math ruled, right? Stephanie, like how many times have you heard about math being the kind of universal language, right? Of the universe?
It is absolutely the universal language, and it coincides also with sound and tone and frequency.
Right. Yes, it does. And like, so like basically they're saying that math, it's not of math, it is math, right? Like it's not of math, it is math. Which is hilarious, because like math is something I hated for so many years. And now I love it. But okay, so this guy, Dr. Gates, he has been working on superstring theory and symmetry, supersymmetry rather, and he found that that these error correcting codes are used to check and correct for errors, but the fact that there are errors is what allows some of us to perceive that there's another thing outside of this reality. Without the errors, we would have zero idea that anything else existed. You know what I mean?
Right. Errors in the matrix, essentially.
Right? Yeah, exactly. It's glitches in them. Yes, exactly.
Glitches in the matrix.
Yes, it is. It's like that. It's like the little fundamental building blocks of the universe, right, are pixels.
Yes.
Okay. And pixels are indivisible blocks of matter. What are those? Those are elements, because you can't divide an element into anything smaller than itself. You could get it in a smaller size, but you can't break it into another thing smaller than itself, right? So that would be like building blocks.
With elements.
And like the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, like everything's made up of this on this planet, right? So it kind of makes sense, right? Just like the ATCGs of our DNA. Like, right, you know
Oh,
what I
I'm
mean?
gonna say hello to everyone who
Yep,
just joined in. Tonight we're talking about how science and magic are two sides of the same coin,
right,
essentially. And so we're talking about how the universe is so according to certain equations, a simulation. And
right.
so if it
What does
is
that mean?
right, if it is a simulation, okay, let's just say a simulation, what would that mean, Anna, really? Because I mean, to us, I mean, what affects us really is mostly just what's in our
Right,
bubble, right?
right.
Like
So they're
our
saying it's like Sims, literally. So like it would be like we're characters trying to understand the operating system in which we run, right?
mhm.
That operating system would effectively be God to us, right? It would be the creator of us.
It'd be the creator.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, like, if the simulation were perfect, okay, it would be impossible to get any information from the outside world about anything else existing outside of where we are now. Only because of the errors that occur are we able to glimpse that, wait a minute, maybe this is not everything, right?
Right.
So, and this is interesting because there's a video that I show my students every year. Well, when I used to teach high school biology, and it's this a video called "Amazing Molecular Machines," and I'll cue
Oh,
it up in a minute, and I'll show a little tidbit of it. But there's literally people living inside of us. Like there's literally, I don't know how to put this, but on the molecular level, there are people like little creatures that like look like they're walking dogs or they're floating on boats carrying literally have jobs inside our bodies that are they're like little beings and creatures that have a schedule. They go to work, they do work, right? And then they
mitochondria, right?
mitochondria, like, those are that's like an those that would be a cellular organ. I'm talking about the
Oh,
actual like the motors that run those things, like the
oh,
actual
okay.
like guiding motors and things. And I'll show
Okay.
you what I mean. It's every time I show my students this, they always freak out and they're like, "Oh my god, that's happening inside me." But yes, it
Well,
is.
you know what? The great thing about explaining this and showing this is that you can show, like, we say we're within a universe, but what if we're within somebody else?
Okay.
Just
And
like
that's
we,
exactly that's exactly what I'm talking about because you'll see. I'll cue it up, but like yes, the amount of space, like we think of ourselves as microscopic, right? They're tiny and they can't have any space in them, but we know that all of us is 98% empty, right? So like it's 98% empty space, okay? Like our
right.
cell molecules. So okay, so in this rendering that Harvard did of how things work inside the cell, it's a vast, huge galaxy of its own. It's like a whole
Mhm.
universe within us. So it's like these like Russian doll effect, right? Like within us is a small these things likely
Yes.
have no idea that they're part of a bigger picture, you know?
Yes.
And maybe that's how we are on this plane up when we look outside and up at the sky at night, like maybe we're those little things, you know? And some of us don't do our jobs and like that's why things break down. You know, like some of us aren't fulfilling our roles. I don't know, but I don't know if you guys haven't seen it, then you can't even know what I'm talking about until I show you. So I'm gonna pull that up. But Stephanie, like your idea, like describe what you mean a little bit more about the idea that it could be like that they're not cognizant
Okay.
of.
So, for those who don't know, I am a practitioner of the left hand path. And to me, that means that I am not looking to go to the other side and follow a god. I believe that we are all creator gods. So we're just gods waking up to our own ability and power. And so if we're in a universe, right, that created us, then what if it's just a big you and I? Like we're just the tiny little people inside it having the
Yeah.
jobs and doing the things. And then infinitely, we have little people inside us doing jobs and then inside them, and so on and so forth. Because really, it's just the only thing stopping us from measuring that is our ability to find things that small.
Right. Exactly.
or
It's just
power.
technology at this point. Right. Okay,
Right.
so I have this. Let me see if I can cue this up and, like, actually get it to play without it being, um you've seen it? Oh, you've seen it. Yeah, wait, Blue Portal, are you saying you've seen the code? Or are you saying you've seen the
Yes,
video?
I believe she has, yes.
Okay. You guys have seen that too? Okay, that's awesome. Like, I would love to know because I forever thought maybe I was just mad, but now I know that's not the case. Thank God. I love when that stuff gets validated. It's so isn't that like it's great. Okay, so
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, it
The
is.
code,
Share
yeah.
screen.
Like for me, personally, I don't know about you, Anna, but like when I've seen it, it's like shimmery and iridescent,
Uh-huh. It's like
and it looks
grayscale
like
for
a
me.
veil that has like hieroglyphics in it.
Yeah, it's just like a curtain, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I guess. I don't really know how to it's hard to yeah, it's like hard to describe it properly, but it just looks like you can see the geometric shapes. Like I've always seen that, you know? Like I don't know. Like, if it makes sense. Let's see. Is it gonna give me the option of what okay, here we go. All right, I got it. So let's hope this works. Oh, is it working? Okay, cool. So I'm gonna full screen it. All right. So check this out, guys. This is what's going on in your body all the time, literally.
Called the kinetic core for over 100 years with intense study, and we're still just beginning to discover what it's all about. It is made up of about 200 different types of proteins, thousands of proteins in total. It is a signal broadcasting system. It broadcasts through chemical signals, telling the rest of the cell when it's ready, when it feels that everything is aligned and ready to go for the separation of the chromosomes. It is able to couple onto the growing and shrinking microtubules. It's transiently, it's involved with the growing of the microtubules, and it's able to transiently couple onto them. It's also a tension sensing system. It's able to feel when the cell is ready, when the chromosome is correctly positioned. It's turning green here because it feels that everything is just right. And you'll see that there's one little last bit that's still remaining red, and it's walked away down the microtubules. That is the signal broadcasting system sending out the stop signal, and it's walked away. I mean, it's that mechanical. It's molecular clockwork. This is how you work at the molecular scale. So with a little bit of molecular eye candy, we've got kinesins, which are the orange ones. They're little molecular courier molecules walking one way. And here are the dynein. They're carrying that broadcasting system, and they've got their long legs so they can step around obstacles and so on. So again, this is all derived accurately from the science. The problem is we can't show it to you any other way. Exploring at the frontier.
That's it. Like, I mean, that's crazy, right? I
It's
mean,
not crazy though. I mean, it if we remove from us like the stories that we've been told, right? The narration
right.
that we've been given and just stay open to it, then it's not so crazy. If you think
Right.
like you talked about the Russian doll thing,
Yeah.
and I agree with that, you
Yeah. It's
know.
like we're microcosms, like it's like within us is our like we are a galaxy onto the molecular beings in us, right? The molecular aspects of us, our building blocks, like look at the inside of us, like that's their galaxy, that's their universe, right? I
Right.
mean,
We are
because
their God
yeah,
already.
right. So it's just like us, it keeps getting on a smaller scale to a larger scale as what it seems like. So that does jive with simulation theory of like it continually copying over and over again. This, so um yeah, we can. So plethora of me says like this
Absolutely.
is reminding her of how we can psychosomatically cause illness in ourselves, right? Like, and
Right.
that's true because our like it would be coding. We're coding it, right? Like if we're thinking it, we're
Absolutely. It might be faulty
recoding,
coding, but we're still coding. Yes.
right? Yeah, and that would explain also magic, how magic
Yes.
works. Okay, so because magic is not like people think it's like I don't know what like like big explosions and I don't know your cauldron like I don't know the typical witch stuff right in like movies, but
Right.
that's not what it is it?
No, it's the alignment of our will and the universe's will coming together. And in order to do that, you need to really truly get quiet and understand the wills are, and the probability of it.
Right.
Probability does come into play. People like to say, "Oh, magic is blah blah blah," but probability comes into it.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can only work with the possibilities, right? What's possible. You can't, like, as much as I'd love to fly on a broomstick, it's not possible because of physics as we understand it now, right? So,
Right.
I would love that, but it's not possible. So we have to stick
But
with
it
what we
was
can.
never
Okay,
it was
never.
never actual flying though.
I
It
know.
was
Yeah,
yeah, it
tripping.
was herbal
It's tripping.
herbal
Yeah.
concoctions to make you feel like you're
Right.
flying.
Yeah. It was a metaphor, analogy, like you're flying high as a kite, you're not really high as a kite in the sky. You're just high, like it's a figure of speech, right? So
Mhm.
the cool thing about simulation theory though is it does bridge the gap between science and magic. That's what it does. And that's what Dr. Gates says. It's like it starts to break down the very funny barrier between what people think is the conflict between science and faith. And like I had this conflict my whole life until I had my near death experience, when I now know that they are absolutely one and the same thing. Science provides us with the bare minimum explanation of what exists that we can measure, tangibly measure in this 3D reality, right? Magic allows us to experience and play with those concepts at different state levels depending on the user, right? Because like everyone's
Yes,
a different
user friendly.
level of practitioner, right? So it allows us to go further in a different way. So it's still
Mhm.
understanding the same things. It's just like science is an easy way for the general population to understand a thing that's really hard to describe,
Right.
like cellular respiration or molecular machines in our bodies. Like that stuff, if think about this, talking about that back in the day, that's witchcraft. You're talking
Yeah,
about
absolutely. I mean, at the front of my book of shadows, I have the Bayesian probability, which is it's a form of statistics that explained that if you can think of it, it's probable.
right. It's happened. Someone else has already done it. If you think of it,
Right.
it's already a thing, right? Like
Yes.
that is
So
absolutely a
it's
thing.
already become something in existence just because you've thought of it.
Right,
Because you've already started creating it.
right. And like back in the ancient times, we have Plato and we have Descartes, and Descartes had this evil demon theory, right? About like, that if you are just or like so that if you have like the only thing like say, oh, this is Plato actually, like if you're sitting in a cave in front of a fire and all you can see is you're looking at the wall of a cave, your entire existence is in this cave, and there's a fire behind you, and all you can see are the shadows of the people outside walking past, and that's all you're able to see. That's all you know. You don't understand that there's actually people on the other side of that fire creating those shadows, and that they live
Right.
in an entirely different world, right?
That's your visible universe. Right.
That's your frame of reference. That's your
Yeah.
that's your, like yes, that's the area that you're able to see, and that's all you know. But like apparently these glitches, because of the errors, allow for us to get glimpses that there's more out there, which maybe is explaining what ghosts are, which is explaining all of these other phenomenon that we consider to be above normal or paranormal, right? Because that's all
Leaks.
paranormal means, by the way. Paranormal means above normal. That's what it actually translates to. So it's not some magic thing. It just means that it's more interesting than normal. Like that's basically what it's saying. So like there's we would have to understand that like there's a capability, right, of this. And I think with AI coming into play, we are understanding that, because now everyone's starting to get worried about cognizance of AI and like becoming conscious. And so now it's making us think like, well, wait a minute, what if we are that?
What if we are the ones who became sentient?
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of trippy to think. So in that case, then if you die, you just respawn somewhere else, right?
Will you wake up somewhere else?
Yeah. But everyone else in this timeline would be like, oh, they are dead.
I don't know, because like For me, like what I experienced and what you've experienced, and the people that we know that have had near death experiences or actual death experiences, like yourself, did not
Yeah.
wake up from a simulation. But you also, it wasn't like it was what we were told either.
No, no. And so this is like, so simulation theory talks about this on life after death. And I think this is a kind of an interesting take on it. Okay. So it says it like opens up profound new possibilities regarding life after death. Unlike skepticism about the afterlife and atheist view of a purely physical universe, simulated reality allows for the continuation of consciousness after bodily death. Death may simply mark the end of our avatar's lifespan within this simulation, right? The higher intelligent
Mhm.
creator or creators of the simulation could choose to upload minds to a new simulated or physical existence upon death, reincarnation. Okay. Um, they may also have created parallel simulated universes and realities where, and you can transfer back and forth between them. And like these, possible like advanced beings running the simulation could also choose to respawn consciousness back into our existing world in different bodies, i.e., reincarnation. So, like, this provides a scientific mechanism for the idea of reincarnation that's found in Buddhism and Hinduism. Um, and, like, in this viewpoint, also, it would mean that death is just a transitory phase, for to whatever, new simulation the people at, the powers that be have in store for us, right, or
So,
programmed to occur
so
next,
wherever
right?
your yeah, so wherever your new existence is,
Right.
basically.
Right. I mean, and that would mean, yeah, so that like it accounts for basically all of the big problems that we have in our in our existence about like life after death. People saying that they are reincarnated or feeling like they've, been know some information that they shouldn't know. And so that's kind of it's enticing to think about because it could possibly be that. I'm not sure. I mean, how will we ever really know? And that's the crux is that if it is a simulation, we can never prove it. But we can also never prove it wrong.
Right,
Like we said.
but also
Yeah.
I wanna bring up something that you and I had talked about earlier,
Okay.
off camera when we talked about this, because what blew my mind was when you talked about how the simulation, even if it is still in our mind.
Right. Right. You mean the filter, that stuff, like the filter
Yeah.
that we have? Yeah. So that's a new one too. Like I had this theory that I don't know why it just came to me earlier today. And was it today? It was this morning, right? Or was
Yes.
it yesterday? I don't know. Whatever. Recently. Within the last 24
Oh,
hours.
last night.
Right. When we're talking. Okay. So we were talking for the show, and like what we're gonna talk about. And Stephanie said something, and I was just like, oh my gosh, wait. I get it. So a filter's in us, it's in our brain. And I believe it's probably in the corpus callosum, which is like that band of fibers that connects the right and left hemispheres of the brain. Okay. And like in child trauma, that area of the brain is what's affected and impacted negatively, negatively, quote unquote, and deformed, thinned out, or has holes created in it due to stress and things like that. If that's the case, and that's also tied in with the DMT studies, okay, also,
Right.
and like what's happening with DMT is allowing light, more visible light to be seen. So if that's because there's, damage to this area of the brain, maybe that's why we can see things other people can't see. Because our filter, that veil that's creating this illusion of just what we think we perceive now, has some
Right.
kind of damage to it, and we're able to get glimpses here and there of what actually at least some of the other things that are existing right in front of our faces that we just can't perceive because we only see such a small amount of the visible light, you know, out of the entire light
Mhm.
spectrum, right? So
Mhm.
I don't know. And then also that the universe, okay, so I see a blue portal, right? Well, it would have to in this
Yeah.
case, right? It would have to be conscious because,
It
right? Like,
absolutely is
yeah,
consciousness.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it has to. I mean, like the idea that only li- like living organisms have consciousness. I mean, you guys heard that they just deemed fire to be a actual living thing, right? Like that's new.
I thought that was so cool.
Yeah. Because fire doesn't exist anywhere else in the galaxy except for on Earth, and only because we exist, because we create the byproducts necessary for a flame to actually occur. But it doesn't exist elsewhere. In other places where there's lava or whatever, there's no flames. It's just like the molten metal or whatever it is, right? So fire is now considered to be alive. And if you've ever seen a fire, it definitely has a mind of its own, right? Like, and so that was interesting. That's new. That just happened this week, actually. So, we're starting to see that things aren't just because it's like not moving, doesn't mean doesn't have some level of consciousness, right? Like, because animism is all about that, right? Like in shaman tradition.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Right.
Animism is everything has a spirit.
Right. I mean, like everything. I mean, would that mean like man-made stuff has a spirit too? Like, like my desk? I don't know.
Not exactly, but I mean, kind of like for instance, if like you put your signature on it, right? So you put part of your spirit into it,
Oh, there's that. Right.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And that would also explain how we leave imprints behind, right?
Yes.
Because like, anyone knows that if you've ever been into a building that has a history of some stuff happening in it, like violence or usually it's a bad stuff, right? That leaves those imprints. Like it's not often that you come across a place that's like really happy. It's usually the bad stuff. So you know what you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like how you go somewhere and you
Oh,
just feel that
yeah.
there's been trauma there. Like that's an imprint, leaves like an echo behind, right? So I guess we do kind of leave part, like just like when we lose hair, wherever we go, we leave a piece of us behind. That's a forensic science principle, Locard's principle of transference. And like wherever you go, you're leaving hair, body cells, whatever behind, even if you think you're not. So
Oh, yeah, you are. You're
I think
shedding
that
always. Yeah.
my hair, like there's no way I could never get away with the crime. My hair would give me away, like 100%. So that's the thing. If we're leaving that behind and it's attached to us, then doesn't that have its own essence too, right?
Mhm.
Right. So we're leaving every time something behind, and so yeah, everything would have a touch of somebody's essence on it, right? Yeah. So it's just interesting that this is all coming out, and so science and magic are not enemies at all. Like this is a new
Yeah.
thing that I've been able to finally reconcile, and it's so liberating, guys. Let me just tell you, that we can and the government has known about this for a long time. They call
Oh,
it
yeah.
energy patterning. So
Mhm.
if you hear about energy patterning, that is exactly the same thing as witchcraft. It is the same thing as prayer. All of these things are meditation. They're all the same. It's just a different word that we're using to describe the same thing. Hey, how's it going, Megan? How are
Hey,
you?
Meg.
Yeah. So, I mean, why is everybody, why do we all call it different things? Why do we have this different frame of view for like, you know, like religion calls it prayer, spirituality calls it meditation, witches call it witchcraft. Like why? And the government calls it energy patterning. Why is it different?
Ah, so it's just really all the same thing, but we have to call it different things, I guess, because of culture, because of social programming.
Right.
What about you guys? What do you guys think in the chat?
Right. Yeah. I would love
Why
to know.
why do we call it different things and why are people so quick to judge the other thing when it's really essentially the same thing?
Right. Yeah. Why is that? Like, why? Yeah. I mean, I would love to know that as well. I think, okay. So let's see. We got an answer. Thank you. I think there are different paths. We are all at different comfort levels with our relationship with divinity. Right.
Oh,
Yeah. That's a good answer. That's true. It's unfortunate that some are demonized though, like as bad
yeah.
or evil. Um, but I guess that's kind of the nature of people. I don't know, like to always be right about things. Unfamiliar, this is true. Unfamiliar and frightening and threatening when it's misunderstood. Absolutely. And people really don't like things they don't understand.
That's
You
very
know?
true, and I agree with Blue Portal
Yep.
also, is that the powers that be divide to control us and keep us distracted. That kind of falls into with what Megan said, the unfamiliar is frightening and threatening when misunderstood, because they take our naivete
Right.
and use it against us to control us and make us feel, out of control.
And not
Like, oh my
connected.
God, oh my God, this is happening and you can't make it stop, and then they're like,
Yeah.
ah, and then,
And
yeah.
then also here's someone to hate, by the way, on top of that. Here's somebody that has
Exactly. No,
opposing.
this is the person that's doing this to it. It's not us. This
Yeah.
is the person
Yeah.
causing the stress. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, look here, shiny thing, divert attention. So yeah, we got to do better, guys. We got to do better and not fall for it. Like, I mean, honestly, it's the same stuff. It's literally the same thing. It's like we just go about it in different ways. We call it different things. It's all the same. Just like with religion, every single major
Truly it
religion has the same
is.
story, the same origins, right?
I mean, I don't know about you, Anna, but when I sit down um to form any kind of witchcraft or to do any kind of ritual, I align my will to number one, what's probable,
Right.
and it's so do people when they pray.
Yeah.
I get on my knees, and so do people when they pray.
Hmm.
I also dance around and sing, and so do people at church.
Yes, they do.
You
They do.
know? So I mean,
Yeah.
a
It's
lot of
literally the same.
parallels there.
And Cynthia, hi Cynthia. Hi. Cynthia's great. Cynthia is has a great point here. The sheer number of labels and definitions exist for the same things because people are different and will understand subjects in different ways. So yeah, it's given to you. Like I think it is like that's a level of it also is like how much because not everyone is going to be able to absorb and process the same way as
That's
your
true.
the person next to them. Some of us are on different paths, right? Like for like how much we're going to understand in a lifetime, right? So I
Right.
mean, so the ones that are
Well, I mean,
okay with not
most
knowing,
most religions have a story of the hero's journey,
right? Yeah, no,
right?
they all have the virgin birth. They all of them same.
All of
And
them.
like,
Right.
yeah, no, yeah,
Just
like
trying to be,
yeah, no,
aloof
legitimately,
about it,
but
but
we
yeah.
just call it. They're different characters, but they're
Yes,
all the same. The
but
same premise,
they
the same
they
thing.
adhere to each culture and that
Correct.
region,
Yep.
and they have the tweaks and everything so that the people from that area are comfortable with the story.
Right.
And I guess that's the best way we can go about saying it is it's cultural. It's just I hope that we can bridge some gaps for people who take offense instead of just say, okay, yeah, we're just using different words.
Right. And that's again, that's the ego talking where we have to be right. Like my thing has to be the right thing. That's the thing. Yeah, like so right here, world mythology, right? And like world mythology class, yes, there's so many floods, like the Great Deluge, like all of these events that happen, and it's all the same thing. Like it's just no, it's the flood with the ark, like, but it just calls something different. Yes, like that is it's a thing, and it's like okay, well, there has to be some grain. Where did it all come from? Somewhere, right? Like I guess that's the real question here: is when did this all become a separate thing? Like when did we all separate to the point where we had to have a different narrative for each culture? Because at one point we were all together and then we weren't, right? And that's kind of where we are now. Now we're so separate with the internet. If we are in a simulation, we have really pigeonholed ourselves into like this kind of isolation existence where we're just separate from each other. We're so packed on top of each other in urban settings, right? But at the same time, we're so alone. Like I don't think we've ever been more
Oh,
alone and out of community than we are now. And like that's
absolutely.
unfortunate, because
I
we all
find
need
more
people,
community with older people everywhere I go than
right?
anybody else because they're more willing to talk to me.
Well,
Um,
yeah, I
than
mean,
yeah.
I mean, you just look at yeah, it's true. Hi, Lori. It's true. It's true. Like, yeah, a lot of there's people standoffish, but like, I don't blame them because people are not the most friendly anymore. I mean, I don't know if they ever really were, but like, it's pretty bad these days. So like, I think a good thing for 2024 would be to like try our best to be more in a community setting and like be more kind of caring towards each other and like interested in what each other is not nosy. I'm not talking about getting your nose in other people's business. I mean like just having some kind of community with the people around you, right? Like
Support and community. Absolutely. Actually, when you say that, that's so true because I feel that we really need that, and that's why I'm doing some grassroots movements here in the Central Valley as
I
far as
know.
that goes.
That's amazing. I love that you're doing that. And like again, for those that don't know, Stephanie, what are you doing again? Like you're Are you gonna start live streaming it? Because that would be great. I would love to join if you were live streaming.
I'll see about that. I am the resident pagan priestess at Unitarian Universalist Church here in Fresno, and I'll be running the Sabbats ceremonies and altar building, and we have potlucks, and we come and cast circle together, and it's a loving learning experience for those who want to show up and come be in community, and it's also family friendly. So
Yeah, and tolerant, right? Of everyone's beliefs. That's awesome. I would love to come sometime if I ever do. You know how I am about Fresno, but like
yes.
I would maybe go. I was like,
You would grace us, yes,
maybe.
darling.
No, I just that place is just. But yeah, like I think it's amazing. I wish like if you guys could live stream, I'm sure like a lot of people would actually join in. Like so find out, Stephanie. I would love to do that. But yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, like we're gonna do readings now for the new year. So you guys have got to have questions for your New Year's, right? Like
Yes, who wants a
let's
New
go
Year's
with that. So
reading?
put it in the chat. Let us know what your questions are, and then oh yeah, okay. Hey, I'll come hang out. Where are you at? You're not in Fresno, right? You're like outside of Fresno.
No, but Megan's coming down for that. She's actually going to be my support priestess.
Oh, yay! That's
for
a big deal. That's cool. Right on,
yeah,
girl.
yeah. Well, you got to have somebody sage people while you're doing your setup.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, that's really cool. I'm excited for you guys. I'm really excited about that for you. That's amazing. I'm sure we have that here in LA, but I just don't know where it is.
Yeah,
I've been
it found me, and I felt so fortunate that it did. It just kind of fell into my lap, and the people at the church, at the Unitarian Universalist Church, they are so loving and so sweet and so kind and welcoming, and so curious about it. And so it's been very helpful and very supportive.
That's awesome. Okay, so put your questions in the chat. Just ask the question, and then like we'll get to you like in the order they're asked. But Megan, what was your question? I think you were first. So what was it? I don't see it. Yeah, so put your questions in the chat and we'll answer them.
It was
It
I'm
could be
down for
tarot
a
or it could be
reading.
intuitive or it could be
I
channel.
want a reading, please.
That's general for me, love. 2024?
Okay.
Goes up.
And Love Life is 2024. So I'll take Charmaine.
Okay, yeah.
Charmaine, so I don't know if you're familiar with us, but I don't use cards. I do just straight psychic mediumship. Okay, so this year I see you actually you're either about to meet somebody or you've already met them that you're going to spend about 2 years with. And it's going to be a good relationship and you're going to end up friends. And he's middle-aged, and I keep seeing him wearing a hat like this, like newsboy cap. If you know somebody who wears a newsboy cap all the time, like that's the person who it's going to be. And your career, Anna, do you have anything for her career?
Well, no, I was doing you're like I'm doing cards for somebody else. I was doing for Megan, sorry. Because I did Megan's, I already pulled for Megan, but I can pull some cards for her. So let's see about her career.
Okay. Let's jump.
Oh.
Sorry, Charmaine. I will come back to you while Anna does Megan.
I gotta get it. So I get my other cards out. Sorry. Isn't it like top so cute? It's like I feel like I look like a Renaissance princess. Okay.
I like it.
Yeah. I hate to say it was Shein and it was like $5. Okay. But so okay, for Megan, really quick. Okay. So you have the star card, so that means like good stuff's coming your way. Also, like as in the stuff that you've been working on is gonna be like actualized, it looks like so whatever projects you have in the works right now. And then also, I feel like you're gonna finally get some recognition for it. So I think the thing that you've been working on something for a while now, like trying to get I don't know, maybe like recognition or people to see it. And I feel like that's going to be coming up. I don't know exactly what this is referring to, but also there's the Three of Pentacles here, which is about higher learning, right? About learning some kind of secret, like some knowledge that, so I feel like maybe that has to do with the church thing with Stephanie. I don't know. Maybe it's on your own, but it looks like these things are connected too somehow. So I don't know. Are you doing like another like, are you working on something else? Like, are you like, how's your podcast? Like, are you still doing that thing? Like, what's going on? Like, are you doing something else that you're trying to get out there that's going to be dealing with that aspect of life, like of spiritual stuff also? Because like, it looks like you're going to be getting that off the ground. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, we have our podcast next Tuesday, her and I.
Oh, is that the same one that you've had this whole time, or is it a different one now?
No, it's season 2.
Okay, so it's the start of a new season. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's gonna pick up more traction. Like that looks like it's gonna have more like visibility, I guess. And you're gonna be, I think, focused a lot more on like this stuff, like esoteric stuff. Like, and that's going to, and you're gonna be learning some things. And then also you're gonna be like, I feel like you're gonna be a lot of research. You're gonna do a lot of research. So I see like in a library, like metaphor library, like online Googling things and like looking up stuff and doing your research and like really having your stuff planned out ahead of time so that you're like on point. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if there's any kind of winging it by the seat of your pants, like flying by the seat of your pants last time, that's going to be kind of ironed out. You know what I mean? Like, if that makes sense. Like, you're going to be really on top of it. And it looks like it's going to be pretty successful. So I'm excited for you on that one. And let's see for Charmaine. Was that
Charmaine as far as her career?
Work for her.
Yeah.
So I mean, let me know if that's will I have a second home in the mountains in the next 2 years? Oh, well, second home. Can I just say you're lucky to have the first one? I want one.
Okay. I'm also gonna. I'll let you go ahead with that one, and then I have one.
Okay, hang on. Let me see what I get. Oh, okay. So also, that's good. So also the star is here too. So like if you're working on something or you're trying to go towards like it looks like there's I don't know if there's like a not novice, but kind of a mid-level start to something, like maybe something that's not as familiar as what you've done in the past, like an opportunities looks like will be coming your way. There's the star card here, meaning like again, something that you've been working for or like hoping for is about to kind of be realized. And then also stability. So it looks like more stability within like the home realm. So that would indicate like more of a steady income stream, right? Also, you're manifesting this year a lot. It looks like the Magician card just came up. So make sure you're keeping your thoughts on what you want and not focusing on what you don't want. Like, we don't think about the things we don't want. We think about what we want. Like, that's it. Because we don't, like, we muddle our minds with the things we don't want. That's what's ends up coming to us. So focus on what you want as if you already have it. Like, that's really important. And and don't doubt like this opportunity. If it comes up, take it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of us need to be really, that's a collective message. Is like, we all really need to be watching out for opportunities and not accepting less than what we deserve going into this year. Like, whether it's in love or in career, getting paid what you're worth, like these things, like this is that collective message for everybody. Like, we all need to be like understanding of our own worth and what we bring to the table. And we need to make sure that people that are meeting us at our table are bringing something in return, like of equal or greater value. Like, we've got to set the bar higher for ourselves, like going forward. Otherwise, we're going to be stagnant. And that's a dirty word in my book. Like, right. So like, yeah, everybody and Charmaine, like, yeah, focus on what you want because that's what you'll get. Like, this is a year I feel of like manifestation for a lot of us, like where we're going to get the things that we want if we stay in that mind frame. Like, we've got
it's a number 8 year. I mean, that's a great numerology.
Oh, that is right. That's all about wealth, generating wealth, right? Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. You guys keep that in mind. Don't focus on the negatives. Like, we leave that behind in last year. Like, that, let it go. Focus on what we want.
Answer this one for Sheila. Sheila, your guides' names are Michael, and Anne, Anne. Those are your two spirit guides. And they say that they're around you a lot, especially in the evening. And you've heard them making sounds around the house before. And it's not ghosts, it's them. So,
And then Lori. I see Lori Greathouse. Is Lori still here? Yeah. I see. Is Lori still here?
let's see.
I see
Let's
Lori's
go
here.
next to Just Humor Me. Is that you, Shannon?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. In the mountains in the next few years,
Oh.
Florida's roasting me. Yes, I do actually. I do see you having one. But that's
Yeah.
gonna that's contingent on some inheritances, you know?
And no, that's channeling. That's not like, because we're in that alpha state at that moment. Like if you're right in that sleep, the hypnagogic state, right? That's where we are able to channel better, right? Like that's that phase, the alpha state, right? Which is where we have those encounters frequently. So, if that's something you want to hone now, like then you need to. Part of it also, Stephanie, right, with magic and abilities and things like that, is that you believe you have it. Like if you have an
God,
incident
yes.
occur, you have to just go with it, even though it's counterintuitive to what we've been taught, right?
But
And
you
then
can't
once,
do it without tools. You have to have
right,
the magical tools in order to do it.
right. If you have them and it's happened for you in the past, right, you can start to hone that by admitting it, right?
Yes.
Like admitting it is a thing. Like that's part of it. Like you have to say, fine, okay, I can do it, and not question it. Like, and that's really hard to do because it's, again, counterintuitive to everything that we've been taught, right? So,
Oh, here we
yeah.
go.
Okay.
I'm not going to answer this one because I know this person, so I'm going to let
Okay.
you.
Well, I still had to do Lori's. Lori's was at the top, but we missed it. Like,
Oh,
going back up.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I forgot what was the question. Lori's question was, hang on, let's see. Lori, where did it go? Okay, general direction. Should I go and stay where I am at, or is there something? Okay, got it. Let me check. So for Lori, like right where you're at right now, I don't know. Feels like there's a wall, like something blocking, like that there's kind of some kind of barrier that would be probably better. Might be a good idea to like break past that, you know. See, our collective sexiness, really. I think you can.
Well, I knew that already, Shannon. Thank you. Yes. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, come on.
one way to break the internet.
Okay, so Lori, I see like there's a wheel of fortune here, right? So it can be one of two things. It could be that this is a repeating cycle that you find yourself in right now, and then also the advice is to make sure that it changes, that you turn it in your favor instead of keep going around and around in a loop. That you like make it go in your favor. Also, if there's a man that's like an emperor energy that's around, that's like oppressive or has, I don't know, some kind of like domineering energy around you, like perhaps maybe it might be time to kind of remove and look for something a little less oppressive. If that's not the case, then it means that you are like, I don't know, like let me see. 10 of Wands, there's oppression, there's the Emperor, and there's Wheel of Fortune. So like it does look like, it might be time to get moving. The fear that comes from making a change like this is palpable, right? Like, yeah, we get scared that we're making the wrong choice, but strength card, you need to stay strong and know, like, remember what your actual goals are, what the long-term plans are. Like, are you going to be able to get there from where you are right now? If that answer is no, then it is time to go, right? If you can't grow from where you're at, if you can, then it might not be like something you need to do right now, but you need to make sure there's growth opportunity available for you. Like, not stagnant is not that's not the new look. Right, Stephanie? We're growing this year. We're gonna
We're growing this
get our
year.
pieces. Yeah. So like general direction is, yeah, you need to like walk away from situations that have like unnecessary bickering, fighting, like in any kind of negative stuff like that and look for something that is more conducive to a peaceful environment. If that's where you already are, then you're good. But if it's not where you are right now, you do need to, like, it looks like you should be finding something that's more conducive to your own mental well-being. Okay. So yeah, like, oh, hi from Chile. Thank you. Hope that helps, Lori. I have no idea what's going on in your life, but that's what I got. So now who's next?
What's this one now?
How will my divorced child support play out? All right. Is it a female?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay. Well, divorce is not fun. I know that part. Long process. Costs money. Let's see. All right. For blue portal. See what I got here. Wait. Nope. Okay. Slow. Not moving. Like stalls. Like it looks like stalling out. Like I'm seeing just frustration right now. Like you got the 3 of swords, then you got the 4 of swords, and then the 7 of pentacles. So like, you're gonna get some financial relief, but it's not gonna be right when you not right now. And also maybe not as much as you're hoping for, or some kind of compromise is gonna be there, but like definitely it's gonna be a trying time. So I'm sorry about that, but like that's what I'm seeing. It's like, gonna be a lot. So just get ready for that long game, I guess. But at the end of the day, you will be off in a better spot than you are now currently. So like that is good. But I feel like there's going to be a lot of attempts to stall out, to drag feet, stuff like that. So yeah, but you're going to get relief. It's just going to take longer than ideally you'd hoped. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, you will get it. You'll get mostly what you want, but not all of it. I don't know. What do you think, Steph? You already know this person, so I don't know them. But like,
no, I think you're spot on. You're spot on. I just didn't want to interrupt on that one because I've already said what I
I don't know who it is. So yeah, I just wanted to check. You're welcome.
Okay, so this one I can answer.
Did you see Ariana up above her?
Oh no, I did. I'm sorry. Did I miss somebody?
Okay. Yeah, there's some people I did a live the other day. Like I see some of them here.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I'm doing about the tarot card deck. So I got to pick a winner for the tarot card deck. Because I got a deck I'm giving away.
Brianna, yours is Joseph. And he looks like an old Black grandpa. Like he even has like a straw hat on.
Oh my god, I can see him. I literally just saw that.
Yeah, with the suspenders. Yeah, and he watches over you.
Hi, Ashley.
Yeah. And he was actually an ancestor of yours from a different life.
That's cool. I totally saw that. I saw that man like just now in my mind. Like I did. Like that's crazy. Like just with the hat and everything. Like even like chewing on some freaking hay. Like old school like guy. Like corn cob pop. Hi, baby girl. Ashley's in the chat.
So let's see. Natalia, here we go.
Okay.
So Natalia, yours is okay. So he told me it looks like it's spelled Ralph, but he said it's pronounced Ray, like Ray Fine. So he's got tan skin, but he looks like he's like, I don't know if he's Puerto Rican or Dominican or what he is, but he looks Islander, and he's a large man, and he watches over you. And he has kind of show-offy energy, and that kind of brings out your extrovert. He empowers you to be extroverted. I hope
that's cool. That's cool. Let's see. So, is that the next? Is that the next? Let's see.
Let's see. Let me see. I'll go down the line
Okay.
here.
Thanks.
Okay, so now Raziane. I'm so bad at pronouncing names. I'm sorry. I'm probably butchered your name.
Rosianna? I don't know.
I
Yeah.
want
Me
to
too. I just
believe
apologize ahead of time.
you.
Sorry for butchering your name. Yeah.
Okay, about your career in 2024, you're gonna have a switch into something else. You're gonna change career paths. Let us know
Oh.
if you've been even thinking about that.
There's a lot of people's for this year too. There's a lot of people are like getting restless with where they're at and like in
They're
the mood.
switching. They're switching up.
Yeah. I mean that's and then Claudia. Okay. Hi from Chile. Hi. Thanks for coming. Let's see, what would it be possible to best
Okay, I have to answer Shannon on this one because it's hilarious. Are my
Okay.
spirit guides named Statler and Waldorf those two Muppet judges on the balcony? That's me and Anna. That's us.
Yep.
Statler and Waldorf. We'll
Yeah.
roast all day, girlfriend. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're like, yeah, the grumpy old like, but we're cool though. We're like not that we're not like that.
Well, we're kind of like
so-
Marge's sisters, you know, Patty and Selma, the old smoking sisters. More, you know.
Yeah, yeah, we can be like that when we're like alone and not cute and like, just sitting in our underwear, like being ridiculous. Yes, like that's true.
With our hair.
Our hair like all messed up, yeah. Like just foobar from whatever we just did. Like, yeah, totally. That's fun times, But this
Who
is
wants
for
us as spirit guides? Anybody up for signing up?
don't absolutely don't anyone ask me for that ever because I will be the worst. It's just like the doctor I was gonna be, but was talked out of because I have a bad bedside manner. Yeah, it wouldn't be good for you guys. Nobody wants
hilarious.
that. I can be like, "What's wrong with you?" Oh, wake up! I'd be so bad. So for Claudia, Queen of Wands and Five of Pentacles.
No,
So-
not for Claudia, for Razian.
No, I was
Right?
like for the best to complete my life mission question, but like Rosianne was like, I'm here at this one that was above that
Oh, okay.
under Lori, and then yeah, and then after that was Rosianne. So Claudia, would it be possible to best what? Okay, what do you mean? Can you like restate? Like I'm not sure exactly what you're asking there. Like, are you asking what the best option is so that you can complete your life mission? Do you know what that is right now, or like, do you know? Are you aware of what that is, or are you still looking for what that is? Are you still trying to identify it? Let me know, Claudia. Yeah. So let me know. Let's see. Oh, Barbara. Is that it? Barbaric. Okay.
We're the worst.
We're terrible. Yeah. It's 2024. What do you want? We got like infant energy today. We're like,
Right?
first time ever doing this. Yeah. So let's see. I met someone. Okay. I'm looking still. Oh, okay. Got it. Thank you. I got your answer down there. Okay. So cool. So you're still looking. Let's see. How do you find it? Well, I guess that's without the question is then how do you find it, right? Like, what do you do to find that? Like, where are you going to look to figure that out?
And also, guys, we only do one question per person as far as readings go.
Right. Tonight. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
New show, no new time. So like and then I got to do, so we need to do, okay, 7. Well, interesting. Okay. So has to do with your past. So whatever your mission in life is going to be requiring you to look back in your past at something you've already experienced before. Yep, because it's 6 and 7 of cups here. So that means like childhood stuff, like something from before, and then going into adulthood, some experiences that you had, like there's some kind of wisdom to be gleaned from that. I don't know. Let's see what else. And then we have yep, like some kind of I want to say like I'm gonna say it looks like you have to do some like healing for yourself about some stuff that happened in your past. and that's going to open a door for you, like, to see where you need to go next, like, because there's some kind of block here for you that's keeping you, like, on like, unabreast of, like, what you're supposed to be doing, and there's some kind of work that needs to happen that's gonna require you to have to go back in time, like, that makes any sense, like, so, yeah, like, that you need to go back in time and go back over your experiences and find where the wound is and start working on that, like, yeah. Oh, yeah, Stephanie, Sierra's, can you answer that one from Sierra? And then, oh, Rosianne and right. Okay, so, yeah, that's, you needed to go back in time. Okay, oh, good, I'm glad that makes sense. I appreciate that. Good to know, because that's right now, it just looks like there's a block, and that will be lifted once you get into that work, you know? So, good luck. Yeah. You're muted. Stephanie, you have no sound.
Is that better?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I don't know why, but with this person, I'm seeing a lot of trees with you. Are you going on like a trip through the forest or yeah, no, like camping or a cabin or something? Um, it's
She
gonna
absolutely
be
is.
good. You're going near a stream too, and you should take some water from that stream if you're not already for your work, but you should be taking some water from that stream anyways, just to use for your own magical uses. Okay. Okay. A journey across states. Okay. Um, am I correct in the forest?
Yeah. She works with
Yeah.
Forest Service.
Oh. Oh.
That's Ashley, my daughter. That's Ashley.
Okay. Huh?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
says it doesn't say Ashley on there. Okay. So
I know. I know. But, like, that's crazy. That's what you just saw, because absolutely, like, that's what she's doing. Yes. And she's leaving in,
yeah,
like, 2 days.
okay. So you're gonna have like a stream that's going to kind of catch your attention. You're supposed to collect water from that stream. You'll know why
Good.
you need it later. Just do it.
Right on. Yeah, like, good to know. Yeah, like, yeah, I wonder what that's gonna be about.
Also,
Purifying.
Ashley, you're divinely protected. So don't be so nervous about your traveling. Um you're fine. Nothing bad's going to happen. Like everything's going to be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Like
know that.
in fact, the anxiety is in the way, like, for you to overcome it. It's a block. It's like, you know how you have we all have these things that kind of stop us from our limitlessness. This is your limiter, these things, especially your anxiety. It's a limiter. Once you overcome it and realize that you're okay and everything's okay, you will not be so limited.
Mhm.
I hope that makes sense. And
It makes
Rosianne,
sense to me.
I would love to answer you on another podcast night on another episode, but I already answered one, so we're only doing one
Right.
per episode.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. Yeah.
so
So, and we're over now time, but, like, so you guys, I'm just going to, there's how many of you, if you're doing the tarot deck giveaway, right? Shout out right now in the comments, and let me see roll call. Who's here that was on my live the other night on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, and, like, who's here from that? And, like, we're gonna pick someone that's going to get that deck of cards. So we're gonna start off the new year that way. And so if you want to get a new deck of cards, Transient Light Tarot is what it's called.
exciting. So who was
Yeah.
here? Who was
Yeah,
here?
there's a couple
Oh, I
people.
see
Yeah,
one.
I see it. Let me grab the deck really quick. Hang on. And let me show you guys again how it looks. Where do oh, there it is. Okay. This is a new deck. It's new. It's been just got out. And
You know
it is.
Your outfit looks like it reminds me of, remember The Labyrinth?
Is it David Bowie?
No, it's what's her name when she's
Oh, Jennifer
running
Connelly?
through yeah, when she's running through the labyrinth with that blouse. Yeah.
No, it's really cute. Like, right? Like, it's super cute. Like, like lace. It's very like medieval, I guess. I don't know. Good for like leather leggings. That's all I gotta say. It's like I can get away with wearing some really tight spandex leather leggings. So let's see, Sarah. Yeah, is that her name in the movie? I forgot. Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's the Transient Light Tarot. So there's some different cards in it, like past. I have not used these for readings ever. Like, never used it. Not at all. It's brand new. Like I just am showing it to you now. That's all. It has the booklet in it, a nice box, and comes in. So, give me if you're entering into that. Like, I see who's here now. Right, I'm here. I see you, Ariana. I see you, girl. I saw you right away. Let's see. And then if anyone else, Noel. Yeah. Okay. Oh, right on. So then, yeah, no, like if you guys, so hang on, I'm gonna do my random number generator thing really quick, and I'm gonna pick someone that way, and then whoever I pick, whoever wins, like, I'm gonna have to get your details to mail it to you, right? So be okay with that. Like, let's make sure that you're okay with giving out your address, not on public, but like to me, so I can mail it to you tomorrow, right out. So that just make like if you're not down for that, don't don't say you want. Okay, so hang on, let me do that. Up. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, guess who's winning?
Who?
Name starts with an A. It's Ariane. Ariane, you like were so patient last time too. I think your patience wore off, girl, because I mean you won like it paid off because you just like you're the first you won. So you're the first official winner of our first ever tarot deck giveaway. And there'll be more because God knows that I buy way too many decks of cards. And then I go, you know what? I don't really like this. I don't really want this one. It's not for me. And then I give them away, right? Like I don't use them. I just feel like I want them, and then I decide I don't want them. And then I'm like,
That's
I
the
know I'm never gonna
best
use them.
way though with magical tools of any kind is gifting
Yep.
and giving and getting. Like I've gotten the coolest things for my altar
Right.
just from other witches. It's
Right.
great.
The next deck that we're gonna give away is gonna be an oracle deck. So if you don't know how to read tarot and you want to start learning how to do kind of divination stuff, oracle deck might be an easier way to start because they right? Stephanie, what do you think about that? Like, do you think it's easier
Yeah,
to do
I
oracle deck?
agree. I think it's Oracle decks, you can look at the picture and see what it represents to you. And really, no matter how you translate it, because it's your deck, whatever it means to you, it means to you.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
But like tarot's like different. It has set meanings and like
right,
and then they
right.
tell a story. It's a little bit hard. It's kind of hard to know all of them and all of the possible ways you can interpret it. But like with oracle cards, they're pretty cut and dry in the beginning, and then you can use them also additionally later after you're more comfortable with it. So like that's really the next deck that I give off. I haven't decided which one yet. I have like 10 decks over here. I have never even opened, and we're gonna pick it. We'll pick one, and then we'll announce that next week, right? And then it'll be for the week after that, though. So like we won't give it out next week, but it'll be the week after that, right? So
Yes.
Ariane, you message me, okay?
Yeah.
This is your deck. Here we go. And
Tune in next week because we're going to be talking about zombies.
right, and
So,
DMT.
and DMT.
And DMT, yeah, like and the studies that's going on, DMT as in an academic research way, of course, but like, yeah, what it is, what it's about, and what they think they figured out about it, which is pretty mind blowing. So, yeah, you guys, we're so glad to have you here, and we appreciate all of you very much. You guys are awesome, and we really do appreciate you guys tuning in with us and like hanging out. And we hope you guys have a great new year, right? Happy New Year, everybody. And
We'll see you next week, guys.
yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Okay. Much love, guys, and be good to each other. Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.